I set out to build an outboard bracket like nobody else had. And if you're wondering what's in this hatch, nothing suspicious. Although the main reason for me to add a bracket was to have ease of access with a nice large platform for when I'm wearing scuba gear, there are actually a lot of other benefits to having an outboard bracket that offsets your motor back from the transom. First being, a flotation bracket like I built has added buoyancy. Even though it's adding weight to the boat when the boat is in the water, the extra surface area and the tank on the engine pod provides buoyancy. In the case of mine, it's 40-gallon pod, that's 320 pounds of buoyancy. So although I added about 100 pounds to put the bracket on, I actually end up about 220 pounds positive on buoyancy. Another benefit is as the engine moves back, it also goes up. So that increases the draft of the boat because the engine is raised roughly 1 inch for every foot back from the transom. So in my case, with the engine trimmed flat, it's about 3 feet back from the transom. And so my engine is raised about 3 inches, allowing me to go in shallower water. Another reason is because the outboard is back off of the transom and the fulcrum of the boat is still the back of the hull where it meets the transom. It acts as a lever and gives the motor more leverage to lift the boat out of the water and more leverage in a turn, so it reacts faster. And who doesn't love a fast reacting boat? So we can motor on out of here. Where we left off in the last video, we got to get this motor rigged up. Let's get that going. I have the motor rigged minus the oil filter. I was trying to take the Oetiker clamp off and ended up snapping the nipple off of this. Whoops. But it's never a bad time to put a new oil filter on. So I'm gonna run up to the local boat place. I'm gonna see if they have one of these. They better. Otherwise, what's the point? And then we'll finish getting this thing rigged, and then it's sea deck time. Just got back from town, got our genuine Evinrude oil filter. I'm gonna get that on, get it clamped. We're gonna get this thing buttoned up, test fire it, and then sea deck time. All right, everything is hooked up. So now I'm just gonna prime the oil line, prime the fuel line, and make sure this thing fires up, and then we will clean the swim platform off, get sea decking. Hopefully I can get you a good view. Sea deck is on, looking awesome. Next step is I'm gonna put a new grab handle here where the old one was. I'm doing kind of a slim stainless one. It'll go up close. Just that way when you're coming up the ladder, you got something to grab onto to pull yourself up. And if you're wondering what's in this hatch, it's nothing suspicious. Well, now that we've got that handled. So I built a sliding ladder bracket because I didn't want the ladder taking up real estate on the nice flat surface to sit on. It's supposed to be a swim platform, not a ladder bracket platform. So I built a sliding ladder bracket. It's just slotted. Goes in like that. That way it's not a big eyesore. When you want to deploy, pop that down. There we go. I'm not sure if you saw it, but the first time we took this boat out, I went to climb in the transom and I slipped and busted my shin open, was bleeding all over the place. And death. The transom is harder than my skin. So my wife had the nice idea to put these pads on. Obviously there was a motor between. So now that the motor's gone, I don't want this space. I'm gonna put one continuous piece of sea deck all the way across that strip where you step through the transom. So now I gotta peel these off, cut a nice long one to go on. One full piece, nice and clean. Now we need to, oh, do you remember me pulling this out?
Nice.
Now we need to put a new through hull through. It's gonna have to be over here. And then I will run a new bilge hose that goes right out to the through hull. I'm probably not gonna use the goofy PVC pipe and whatever that is.
A few moments later.
Through hull time. So to put the through hull under here, we want to be above the water line, which is basically right at the middle of these scuppers. So we're going to go up in this corner. That way the bilge pump hose doesn't have to travel too far. Got to make sure to come down far enough for the flange and caulking it. And then we'll drill straight through. I'm going to use a spade bit because it's the closest size drill bit I've got. I think I bought these when I was 13, so hopefully it still works. Through hull is in. I have it tightened. It's caulked in. Ran a new bilge pump hose. I like the clear ones so you can see that water's flowing out when you have it on. Ran that down and in. It's on the bilge pump. Big concern of mine this whole time that I've been building the swim platform and bracket is I extended the weight on the back of the boat out 24 more inches. And that motor's 418 pounds. So my concern was it's going to throw off the trailer weight. I lifted on the front and there's about 150-200 pounds of tongue weight. The boat's roughly 3,000, so we want to have 10% of that as tongue weight, 300 pounds. Thankfully, my trailer has a little bit more adjustment on the bow stand, so I am just going to move this up about 4 inches, and that should actually hopefully remedy that situation. So I'll get that moved up, and then hopefully next stop's the lake. Alright, so I moved it forward. You can see the mark where it used to be, all the way forward on the bow stand. Hoping that makes a difference. If not, I think I can drop down one bolt there and it'll actually lean that forward more. If that will work, I might do that just to get the boat a little farther forward, because I really do not want to have to move my trailer axles. But what do you say we test this thing out? Out on the lake, bracket works sweet. Because I had the outboard off, I got a bunch of air in the oil line, and that's just a huge problem for Evinrude's. I've been trying to run back and forth and priming the oil line, get it cleared out, but it has not behaved yet. I am going to try a few more times, then head in, and then I might have to do it with compressed air or something. One thing I've been needing to do is install my VHF radio. I put the antenna on a while ago, but I haven't put the radio actually into the e-box because it's in the bottom of my parts bin and I just keep forgetting. I did notice that I lost the mounting bracket, but I'm just going to get it up in the e-box, get it wired up so it turns on. Hopefully I have what I need to wire the antenna, because I have to put a new end on it that goes into there. And then hopefully we'll have a VHF, so in case of emergencies we can turn it on, or if we just want to hear the weather, we're ready. Moment of truth. Now I'm hooking up the antenna. So it's way up here. I didn't really have a lot of space to set up a good camera angle, but I stripped it all back. I have the pieces put on for the end, and now that's all left is to solder little end wires into the antenna plug, and then we can hook it up. You can see it's all soldered up tight. Now I'll let that cool off a bit, plug it in, make sure we got a connection. I just have to point out that Shakespeare has a part called the doodad, and they trademarked it. Well done.